Thank you for the beautiful weather. We've had some spotty showers coming over today. Hopefully we can get today's racing action in and good. Please watch over all the drivers, crews, track officials, and everyone. Be sure to watch over all the fans as they are driving home. In your name we pray. Amen. And for tonight's National Anthem, I'm going to turn it over to the driver, the number 3 late model, to sing it, Mr. Dave Martin.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And again, welcome to Barberton Speedway for B-Mains and feature action, as tonight's first racing event will be the Compact A-Main. And we're going to move into the first feature of the evening here at Barberton Speedway, the Compact feature, starting on the front row, the 16 of Bobby Gaynor, the 91 of Anthony Left Hook, the 0 of Ken Rowan, 57 Larry Ennis Jr., 63 Hunter Combs, the 21 of Gage Jayberg, 19 of Scott Plumpkin, the 15 of Kyle Finlayson, 28 of Joe Fuchs, 22 of Dominic Cicidi, probably pronouncing that wrong, the 27 is Britt Van Meter, the 8 of Jim Harkins, 19 is Jared Tomlinson, the 50 of Joe Oliver, the 22 white flag. Gonna go next time by, sorry Ed. And we're gonna go white flag this time. Gonna go green next time, 20 laps the distance. Also, if anybody's willing to, we got $10 a lap for the street stocks, modifieds, and late models, $10 a lap. Come on up here to the tower. Green flag is coming out for Gaynor, and as Gaynor, he's going to go into the race lead off of turn number 4. Gaynor now going to be your new race leader, as Rowan sitting there in second in the 0. With Combs now looking to the inside of the 91 of Lovelich for the 3rd spot, and Larry Ennis Jr. stuck in the high lane there behind the number 91. Now Fuchs going to look to the inside. Here comes Joe Oliver in the 50. Kyle Finlayson there behind as the 22 of Brokowski now looking to the outside, trying to make a 3 wide. Tomlinson going into the grass. Jayberg almost slapping the wall there, just a little bit off of turn number 2. Battle up there front for the race lead between Gaynor and the 0 of Rowan as they're side by side down the front straightaway going into turn number 1. Ooh, the 19. The 19. Green next time buys. It's going to be Gaynor up front with the 0 of Rowan, 63 of Combs, 28 of Fuchs, 91 of Anthony left hook, the 27 of Britt Van Meter. That right there is your top 6 so far. We're going to look for the green flag off of turn number 4 for Gaynard and Rowan. Green flag is in the air. As it's so far, 3 laps in, 17 laps to go, and Rowan getting a good start there going into turn number 1. Rowan on the outside. Rowan getting around the race lead off of turn number 2 using the outside. Here comes Fuchs in the 28. Fuchs also using the outside lane to get around the 16 of Gaynard. Now Fuchs going to start putting pressure on that number 0 of Rowan. Up front is a 63 of Combs. Made it 3 wide down the front straightaway with Combs and Oliver splitting. Gaynard right down the middle. As here comes Van Meter now battling up there for second. The 27 of Van Meter looking to the inside of the 28 of Fuchs for the second spot. Rowan starting to put a couple car lengths between himself and Fuchs. Fuchs tried to close the door, but Van Meter was there. Van Meter. And the 28 of Fuchs and the 50 of Oliver making a little contact there off of turn number 2. Here comes the 19 of Tomlinson sitting there in third. As Fuchs stuck on the bottom lane, he's getting passed around the outside. Here comes the 50 of Oliver around the outside of the 27 of Van Meter. Left hook. Rozak gonna bring the green flag. That's the top 8 so far. As we're going to look for the green flag this time by, it's going to be Rowan, Van Meter, Tomlinson, Fuchs, Combs. Going to look for the green flag off of turn number 4. Green flag is out from Chief Starter at Teddy, and the green is underway. As Van Meter going into turn number 1 using the outside lane and almost spins it but saves it. Rowan still there, tried to close the door and does so. Down the back straightaway, Tomlinson to the outside of Rowan for the second spot. Tomlinson sitting there in second, goes way high, but he's going to clear the 0 of Rowan. Fuchs moving up to 4th as Combs in 5th, as the 22 of Brokowski now going to the inside of the 63 of Combs for the 5th spot. The 50 of Oliver trying to make his way to the front and is doing so as Oliver now looking to the inside of the 81 of Anthony left hook for the as the 22 of Kevin Brokowski now up to the 4th position as the 50 of Oliver on the move. Those two have been the fastest here so far today and yesterday. Oliver making a move there on the 28 of Fuchs for the 5th spot. Now Brokowski now to the outside of Rowan there in the 0 as they're battling for a 3rd. As Tomlinson starting to put pressure on the number 27 of Van Meter's as it's halfway. 10 and 10 to go for the 27 of Van Meter. Tomlinson, Rowan, Brokowski, and Oliver's. Oliver getting charged a couple laps ago. Now he's moved his way back to the top 5. As Oliver to the outside of the 0 of Rowan for the 4th position. As Oliver and Brokowski, there's 3rd and 4th as they've been fastest so far today and yesterday during qualifications, practice, heat races, and practice today is so far Van Meter's checking out. Not very much over that 19 of Tomlinson, but Van Meter running that inside lane. Tomlinson trying to get a run on the outside to try to make a move around the outside down the straightaways. As they're battling deep in the pack between that 15 of Finlayson, the 22 of Cecidi, the 8 of Hawkins, as the 57 of Larry Ennis Jr. getting a little bit of smoke there off of turn number 4. As Van Meter still leading away. Good car length between himself and Tomlinson up front. As Finlayson trying to put pressure on that 91 of Anthony left hook there for the 8th position. As Ennis in the outside lane, it's going to be 5 to go, 15 in, 5 laps to go for the 27 of Britt Van Meter, 19 of Jared Tomlinson, 22 of Kevin Boyzik, the 50 of Joe Oliver, and the 0 of Ken Rowan. The 16 of Gaynard, he's going to move over and let the fast cars go by. Now Tomlinson had a good run there off of turn number 2, trying to close in on the 27 of Van Meter. Side by side up front for the race lead off of turn number 4. As Tomlinson to the outside of the 27 of Van Meter. As the 50 of Ennis gets around the lap down car of the 16 of Gaynard. Van Meter on the inside, Tomlinson on the outside, trying to figure out who's going to have the lead going into turn number 3. Van Meter still on the inside, Tomlinson on the outside. The 57 of Ennis might play a factor there with that 19 of Tomlinson, as it's going to be 2 laps to go. As Ennis, he goes all the way up to the 3rd groove there in the middle of 1 and 2. As it's side by side for the race lead down the back straightaway. Between the 27 of Van Meter, the 19 of Tomlinson. Side by side off of 4 to the white flag. White flag, 1 lap to go for the 19 of Tomlinson as he takes over the race lead by mere inches over the 27 of Britt Van Meter. Tomlinson, now the race lead. Good car lengths going into turn number 3. As the 22, he's going to pull to the infield off of 4 the checker flag. Your winner, the 19 of Gerald Tomlinson. 2nd to the 27 of Britt Van Meter. 3rd to the 22 Kevin Boyzik. 4th to the 50 of Joe Oliver. And 5th to the 0 of Ken Rowan. As he climbed out from behind the wheel, give a hand again to the 19 of Gerald Tomlinson. Well, congrats, Jared. I think I've got to interview at least one time this year. Probably, maybe, I don't know, probably not. Well, congratulations. Stayed behind the 27 of Van Meter there. Got a good run off of turn number 2. I think Pappy's up there playing with the effects. So, congratulations on picking up the win. Made a good run there off of turn number 4 to the white flag. Took the lead right at the line, and then just ran away with it.
I want to say thanks to all the people from Lake County coming. Johnny for helping me. Last night, practice, I hit the wall over there. Had to go home, work on the car all night. Got here about 1 o'clock, and it's running good.
Congratulations.
My girl over there in the pink. She's lazy.
Well, congratulations. Give a hand to your winner, the 19 of Jared Tomlinson. So attention race fans to start this 40 lap street stock feature. Next time by off of turn number 4, race fans, stand on your feet, wave off these 20. As it's going to be Patterson on the front row, then Smith, Miller, or Bowling, Becker, Henderson, Rodneys, Price, Burkhart, Way, and Mackey. That's your top 12. And so far, all those top 12 have been fast all weekend long. As it's go time. Next time by race fans, we're going green off of turn number 4. As it's going to be Patterson. Smith going to bring it in for the green flag. 40 laps coming your way. Has problems already. Up. Problems already up in turn number 4. As it looks like the 85 of Chris Mick has a little bit of left front fender. As we're going to go green this time by, so far 0 laps in. As it's going to be Patterson. Smith going to bring it in up front. Green flag is in the air for Patterson and Smith. As the 44 Smith, he locks it up going into the turn. Ooh, contact over there in turn. Ooh, a lot of contact over in turn number.
Hey, John, down in front. I can't see turn 1.
Long ways to go, as right now it's 1 lap in, 39 laps to go. As it's going to be Patterson. Patterson and Smith, green flag is out. For them out front, going into turn number 1. As Patterson's going to go high just a little bit. Run Smith up to the outside lane. Smith still battling up there on the outside. Smith still battling up there. Patterson dives in turn number 3. So did Orr. Orr slid up just a little bit, almost collected that. Number 82 of Boron. So far in. We got to complete a second lap. Ooh, contact over in turn number 1. Contact over in turn number 1. As it's going to be Patterson's and Smith. Green flag is out for them up front. As Smith he's going to go into the race lead there, coming off of turn number 2. Looks like he's got something dragging there from behind him. Looked like the 44 of Smith just made a little bit of contact, not a lot, but here comes Waylon Orr. Orr to the inside of the 44 of Smith for the second spot. Battle for second there up front between Orr and Smith as they're battling behind between Becker and Rodneys. Bowling and Burkhart as Price is there in the 33. The yellow 33 with way behind. Ooh, Price gives a little notch to the 82 of Bowling, just a little bit. As Becker off the pace just a little bit there on the front straightaway. Outside lane, backtracking just a little bit. As the 82 of Bowling. And so far, it's 5 laps in, 35 laps to go. As lap number 2 was in memory of Dynamic Dave. That is from track owner Mike Mazzagani for doing that. Lap number 3 again is in memory of Ray Summers. As we're going to look for the green flag this time by, it's going to be Patterson, Smith, or Becker. Rodney's your top 5 with Bowling there in 6th. Green flag is in the air. And the green flag is out as the 7 of Price having a little bit of problems there on the start as he's going to fall back there just a little. As they're battling out front between Patterson and Smith for the race lead. As Patterson off on turn number 4 is going to take over the race lead as he will be the race leader at the line. As Smith still trying to put a challenge there on the 80 of Patterson. Or Becker battling. Here comes Rodney's in the 40 to the inside of Becker for the 4th spot. Here comes Burkhardt and the 33 to the inside of the 82. Becker sliding up there just a little bit off of turn number 4. Getting a little loose there down the front straightaway. Seemed like the tires are going a little bit. As the 33 of Becker. On the front straightaway, as Patterson Smith still battling up front. Green flag is out, green flag is in the air. 7 laps in the books as the 33 of Price not getting a good start there on the outside. Now Price getting a good start there on the outside. As Smith, he's going to close the door as Burkholder just gets in the back bumper of him just a little bit there on the front straight, coming off into number 4. As the 55 of Bertram getting together with the 55 of Bertram. As Patterson leading away as Burkholder has now jumped into second with them behind him. As Way looking to the inside of Smith there for the 5th spot. And it'll take over. Way going to get around the 44 of Smith. As black flag coming out for the 55 of Kyler Bertram for rough driving here. As Bertram, he's now going to pull it into the pits. And so is the 11. The 11, same thing, both rough driving. The 11 of Smith and the 55 of Bertram, both rough driving there. As Smith, he's going to pull off. 13 laps in as Mackey Racing will be sponsoring the lap 14 lap as we're about ready to go back green as it's going to be Burkholder and Price up front. Green flag is out for Burkholder and Price as Way going into turn number 1 to the inside of the 30th Orr. As Orr and the 30th Mackey make contact. Mackey in the 30 and the 28 of Waylon Orr making contact. As we're going to go green this time, that's going to be Burkholder and Price going to bring in for the green flag. Green flag is out. For Burkholder, Price, Way, Orr, and Smith. As Mackey making it back out onto the racetrack as Way looking to the inside of that 33 as the 33 of Price. Ooh, hard up in the wall. The 33 of Price got a little loose and went straight up into the wall here on the front straightaway as the 33.
Thanks, sir. Yep. Right there. Bang that out. Ready? Rip that fender.
Orr, Smith, Bowling, Piercy's, Atwell, Mick, Wood, and Hughes, your top 10. Gonna look for the green flag off of turn number 4. 2 fast cars up front. Green flag is in the air for Burkholder and Way. As Waylon Orr sitting there in third as the 82 of Bowling to the inside of the 44 of Smith. In the middle, 1 and 2 makes the passes. Here comes the 2 of Rick Piercy's. Piercy's to the inside of the 44 of Smith. Both them cars had some terrible wrecks, and a caution flag is out. Green flag is coming out for Burkholder and Way. Green flag is in the air. As we're going racing, local short track racing here, Barberton Speedway, 14 laps in. Ooh, Burkholder there getting a little loose off of turn number 2. Way still to the outside. Way now, he's going to brake check it there, getting the back bumper of Burkholder just a little bit, trying to make the move around him. As Orr sitting there in third with Bowling in fourth as Piercy's looking to the inside of Smith for fifth. Piercy's and Smith both wrecked last night during the heat race off of turn number 4 as Way now looking to the inside of the 33 of Burkholder as Piercy's sliding up there in the middle of 3 and 4, but was able to not make contact with the 44 Larry Smith. And Burkholder still leading ahead of Way. Orr, Bully, and Smith as Piercy's in 6. Atwell, Wood, Mick, and Hughes. As the 80 of Patterson looks to have had some right front problems as he stopped right there off the exit of turn number 4. 17 of Atwell, 88 of Wood. So we're going to go back to green this time by as it's going to be Burkholder, Way. Going to bring it in. 17 laps in. Out of the 40 lap distance for the street stocks. As Burkholder, Way going to look for the green flag off of 4. Green flag is out. Good restart up front between Way and Burkholder as Way getting a good start going into turn number 1. Still side by side. Way on the outside. Burkholder there to the inside. As Way going to go into turn number 3. He's going to close the door on the 33 of Burkholder. Way now the race leader over the 33 of Rodney Burkholder as Orr, Bowling, and Smith rounding out your top 5 as they're battling there behind Atwell as they were almost 3 wide with Mick, Wood, and Piercy's. As Mick getting into the back bumper, Wood just a little bit there off of turn number 2. Wood saved it. As Mick again getting into the back bumper of Wood there just a little bit, saves it again as Foster Mackey and the 85 of Mick making a little contact down on the front straightaway. The 85 of Mick trying to close in on the 30 of Mackey, but the 40 of Rains now going to go to the outside. The 88 of Wood going way high down the front straightaway as the 30 of Mackey going to look to the inside going into turn number 1 and 2. As that past lap was halfway, as right here it's going to be 21 laps in, 19 laps to go. 21 in, 19 laps to go. The best part of this is we have made the most green flag laps of racing action tonight for the street stocks. As Way so far leading ahead of Burkholder with Orr, Bowling, Smith rounding out your top 5 as Atwell, Piercy's, Wood, Mackey, and Rodney still battling there for 6th on to 10th. As Smith there in the 44 starting to slow up there just a little bit or having some problems as the 17 of Atwell starting to close in, but not very much, but the 2 of Piercy's is trying. As the 25 of Josh Way so far a couple seconds faster than that number 33 of Burkholder as they're going to go 3 wide down the front straightaway. Ooh, go attack going into turn number 1. Mackey making a treacherous move there on the 2 of Piercy's and the 40 of Ronnie's. Had to back out of it. The 30 of Mackey trying to make room as he's going to look to the inside. Debris up there in turn number 3 and 4. Debris up in turn number 3 and 4. So far it's 25 laps in, 15 laps to go. Green flag is out for Way and Burkholder. As Burkholder going to make just a little bit of contact there with the 25 of Way as Burkholder getting the power there on the outside as the 28 of Orr tried to close in. Josh Way in the 33 of Ron Burkholder going to bring it in for the green flag off of 4. Green flag is out for Way, and Burkholder is the 82 of Bowling, getting a little looser off the start. As Wood trying to look to the inside of the 44. Smith going into turn number 1. Now Mackey going to the outside of the 82 of Jeff Bowling for the 4th spot. As Burkholder starting to put a little bit of challenge there up front. As Josh Way now putting a couple car lengths between himself and the 33 of Burkholder as Orr is holding off that 82 of Jeff Bowling, but Bowling under fire from the 30 of Foster Mackey. Mackey trying to look to the outside of Bowling for the 4th position. As Smith trying to hold off the 88 of Wood, but Wood going to use the inside. He's going to take over this 6th spot. As it's going to be Way, Burkholder, or Bowling and Mackey, your top 5. As sitting 6th right now is 80 of Dennis Wood, 7th. Rick Piercy's 8th. Larry Smith, 9th. Rodney Ronners, and 10th is Mike Atwell. As it's going to be that time by 10 laps to go. 30 in, 10 to go. 10 laps to go for the 25 of Josh Way. As Way really starting to pull away from that 33 of Ron Burkholder, as the 28 of Waylon Orr just hanging there, just trying to keep a third place run, as Jeff Bulling and Foster Mackey still battling it out. Still good battle there for the fourth spot between Bowling and Mackey. Mackey going to look to the inside going into turn number 1. Bowling trying to close the door, but just didn't have it as Mackey was up to the door. Mackey going to take over the fourth spot from the 82 of Bowling. As Josh Way, Burkholder, Orr, Mackey, and Bowling are your top 5 as Mackey finally got around Bowling as they're singled out all the way through the field from first, all the way to 14th. As Orr now getting under fire from that number 30 of Foster Mackey. Mackey trying to set up that 28 of Waylon Orr perfectly to try to make a good move. Waylon Orr getting a little loose there off for turn number 2, tried to, but just didn't. Let him go as the 30 of Mackey's going to go, but here goes crossover move up front as Atwell, Hughes, and Miller all battling there right in front of the leaders. Atwell, Miller, and the 03 of Hughes all battling there for position. It could cause trouble as the 87 of Miller going to loop it there on his own off of turn number 4. Burkholder, who is running second, and he pulls off as it's gonna set up something, and the 33 is going to his trailer. We have Chase Hughes and the 85 of Chris Mick. As we're gonna look for the green flag off of 4, it's gonna be Way and Mackey. Green flag is out for Way and Mackey. Going into turn number 1, good start by them as they're side by side going into turn number 1. Mackey sliding up the track, opening up the inside for the 28. As the 85 of Chris Mick just doesn't look like he has a speed or anything, but he's going to just stay back there. Keep it cool and clear as the 25 of Josh Way. So far, your race leader by a couple car lengths between himself and the 30 of Foster Mackey. As the 40 of Reigns, he's going to pull to the pits, and so it looks like the 85 of Chris Mick is also. Rick Piercy's in the 2 to the outside of the 88. White flag will have to go for the 25 of Josh Way. And the 30 of Foster Mackey is Waylon Orr, Jeff Bowling, Dennis Wood round out your top 5 as Rick Piercy starting to put pressure on the 88 of Wood for the 5th spot. Off of 4 to the checkered flag, your winner, the 25 of Josh Way. 2nd to Foster Mackey. 3rd to Waylon Orr. 4th to Jeff Bowling. 5th to Dennis Wood. And 6th to the 2 of Rick Piercy's.
Try it again. Yeah? Yeah? Oh, yeah? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, congratulations, Josh, on picking up the win here. Good job to Waylon Orr, Foster Mackey, Jeff Bulling, Dennis Wood as they came home behind you. Well, in the street stock, now you got to get ready to go climb into the late model and go 75 laps instead of 40. So you got to add a couple more laps to what you ran here.
All I know is that was a blast. I wish there was that many cars every week. It was good. I got to thank my wife for letting me come and do it. This kid right here busts his butt every week on this car. All I do is drive it.
So who else would you like to thank? Any sponsors?
Yeah, our shop, Waze Custom Welding, Mr. Muffler. All you guys for coming out here and watching, putting on a good show.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Give a hand to your winner, the 25, Josh Way. As it's going to be the 18
Debbie Thomas, number 5.
of Niels, the 7 of Niels, the 5 of Thompson, 07. Ratlift, 13 of Hahn. As we're going green, 20 laps of distance, second. That's good side-by-side up front between Niels and Thompson there in the 18. As the 2 of Boyzik and the 17 of Atwell making a little contact there going into turn number 1 and 2 as the 2 starting to close in on the 13. This 07 way up high and saves it, makes a little contact there, makes contact again with the 54. 33 of Sims now going around the outside. As they're 3 wide deep in the pack, as they're single file up front between Nails, Thompson. Boyzik as they're battling there between the 4 and the 13. As Thompson looking to the inside of Nails there, going through 3 and 4. And Thompson, she's going to take over the race lead off of turn number 4. And so far they are racing good up front as it's a battle there for second between the 18 of Nails and the 2 of Boyzik. As Boyzik had him there at the line, Nails is going to slide up, get into Boyzik there just a little bit through 3 and 4 off of turn number 4. Nails is still going to hold on to that second spot. As they're still battling there for second with Nails and Boyzak battling there for the second position. As they're 3 wide there behind it with the 24 of Holmrich, Nails, and Atwell. And Holmrich, they're going to get around as the 7 gets split the middle and everything as Holmrich getting contact from the 7 of Nails. As so far, they are all battling up front as the last time by was halfway, as it's now 11 laps in. With 9 laps to go as Thompson now getting lap traffic. As the 18 of Nails, he stops there on the front straightaway as he's going to take a little pause. As they are all battling up there up front. As it's going to be Thompson, Brozik up front with Atwell and Rob. They're battling also behind. As is going to be Alpha to number 4, 5 laps to go, and trouble. So as we gave him white that time, we're going to give him green this time. As it's going to be Thompson and Broski going to give the green flag is out. And we're underway as it's going to be 6 laps to go as Thompson in the 5 going to hang on to the bottom. And she's going to now pull to the advantage as the 4 tried with the 2, close the door. Broski, close the door. Broski, close the door again on the 4. The 4 made a little contact. Still making contact there. As it's 5 laps to go, 15 and 5 to go for the 5. Debbie Thompson with the 2 of Neil Brosnick. There, then the 4. Then the 24 of Holmrich getting around the 54 of Lawson that time. As right now, Broski still putting on a battle up front with the 5 of Debbie Thompson. Thompson still holding on to it. Ooh, almost trouble there in turn number 3 and 4. Almost trouble there in turn number 4 with the 18 of Rocky Nails. As we're trying to keep Thompson and Broski still side by side off of 4. Green flag is in the air. As my rating. as Broski in the 2 is going to take over the race lead. Then you got the 5 at Debbie Thompson sitting there in second. Ooh, she's going to dive it into turn number 3. Give him a little love tap there on the side. He's going to slide up. She's going to go to the inside. It's going to be a battle. As it's going to be 17 and 3 laps to go for Thompson. As Thompson, she's going to pull to the advantage there off of turn number 2. She's going to take over the race lead again. As the 4 Rob, he sits there in third, and then Broski there in the 2, rallying outside, trying to get around the 5 at Debbie Thompson. As the 2 sliding up, opening the 5, opening up that inside lane. Ooh, the 2 almost hitting the wall there, but just got up into the rumble bumps. As the 2 is still trying to get to the outside, the 5 slowing up, the 4 catching up. It's going to be a white flag, 1 left to go for the 5 of Debbie Thompson. And the 4, ooh, the 4 just made a good move there to the inside. Trouble there on the back straightaway. Five of Debbie Thompson as the 2 is running her way down, as it's going to be a battle up front. It's going to be green-white here off of turn number 4. Green-white combined, and it's out. Green-white combined as Debbie Thompson gets a good start there on the 2 of Neil Bozic, and he gets a little bump from her. He gives her a little bump going off of turn number 2. And he gets another little bump there in the middle. 3 and 4 pushed up off of 4. The checker flag. Your winner, the 5 of Debbie Thompson. Second, the 2 of Neil Boyzik. Third, the 24 of Patrick Homrick. Fourth, to Dale Lawson. And
She's ready to take you on if you walk out. Debbie! Huh? Don't be afraid, would you? Go down, Debbie! Hey, Mark!
well, congratulations, Debbie Thomas, on picking up the win here. Well, you picked up the championship here a couple of years ago, if I'm correct. Picked up the championship here a couple of years ago, correct? Or somewhere around there. Well, congratulations. You held off Neil there in the 2. It was a good race.
Thank you. Thank you. I was so excited. I didn't know what to do.
Who all would you like to thank? Number 5.
Keeping my car going all these years, and my kids, they always backed me up, always have been, and my whole family, and the people here at the track. They are great people here, and I don't go anywhere else.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Give a hand to your winner, the 5, Thomas. As we're going to move into the 50-lap modified race, starting on the front row is going to be the 38 of Steve Mowry. Of Rick Elkins Jr., 82 of Bob Simplet Jr. in the 82, and then the 1 of Jesse Adams, 15 of Sean McNeely. Wave lap this time, race fans, get on your feet, wave to the modified drivers as they're about ready to go, 50 laps. Again, thank you, race fans, for coming out and enjoying your Sunday here at Barberton Speedway. Again, special thanks to New Track owners, Pat and Mike Mazzagatti. As we're about ready to go, 50-lap racing here in the modifieds. Steve Mowry, Noeski, Wise, Archer, Ripley, your top 5 with Prater, Dobbins, Steinman, Schaefer, and Elkins. Green flag is out, and in the air, it's going to be Mowry and Noeski. It's going into turn number 1. Mowry taking over. As Mowry he goes into the early race, late 15 of Noeski, opening up the inside for the 14 of Wise. To take over that second spot was Wise, looking to the inside. Archer and Prater battling behind him for the 4th spot. Archer on the inside, Prater there on the outside as Ripley and Dobbins single file there behind him. As Steinman now trying to get around the 9 of Dave Dobbins, trying to get a good run going into the corner. Ooh, Prater, contact there on the back straightaway as he loops it off of in the middle of turn number 3 and 4. "48 laps to go." As it's going to be Mowry, Noeski, Wise, Prater, Ripley, your top 5. As they're going to look for the green off of 4. Green flag is out for Mowry and Noeski. As Noeski and Mowry just make a little contact. Noeski still opening up the inside for that 14 of Wise. As Ripley and Prater battling as Noeski tried to close the door on the 14. 14 sliding up just a little bit. Prater had to back out of it using the outside lane. As Steve Mowry and Tyler Noeski battling up front as they're side by side. Mowry looked to have got a little bit of a good jump there, but they're good. Good clean racing up front. As Mowry, he's going to go in as Wise got a little contact there from behind. As so far, we're going to get ready to look for the green flag as it's going to be Mowry and Noeski. Green flag is out, and the green flag is underway. Good start there by Steve Mowry and the 15 of Tyler Noeski. As Noeski, he's going to pull in and stay into second as Prater. He's trying to get to the inside of Ripley, trying to make a move on Ripley. Ripley's trying to battle there on the outside. He is doing a good job battle on the outside. Of Mowry getting a good start there. And kind of sort of pulled away just a little fast. So the caution flag will be coming back out. Caution flag coming back out for the number 38 of Steve Mowry. Jump. And they're good side by side there in the middle of 3 and 4. Going to give green. And the green is out from Mowry and Noeski. Noeski stuck on the outside, leaving the bottom open for the 44. Prater. Prater now to the inside of the 15 of Noeski to take over the second spot. Noeski running high, still has the bottom open for the 9. Ty Schaefer, Bob Sibla Jr., Jesse Adams, Braden Swaney, your top 10. Going to look for the green flag off of turn number 4. Green flag is in the air for Mowry and Noeski. Has a good start there by the 38 of Steve Mowry as he went all the way high. He's going to come back down, tried to close the door, and he's going to spin off of turn number 4. Getting charged for the caution after spinning there off of turn number 4. And Steve Mowry taking it to the pits as Scott Archer is stopping over there in turn number 4. And the 38 of Mowry to his trailer. That's where Mowry just went. Mowry just went to his trailer.
Just jumped on it there and lost it. Nobody hit him.
So, going to give the green. It's going to be Noeski and the 9 of Dobbins. Dobbins getting a good start. He's going to dive it in going into turn number 1. Dobbins going to take over the race lead as TJ Simon now to the outside of the 15 of Tyler Noeski. Noeski under fire from Steinman, Ripley, and Schaefer as they're all right behind him. Nose to tail trying to get around him. As Schaefer now going around the outside, trying to make it around the outside of that number 15 of Tyler Noeski. As Noeski slightly opening up the inside. Slightly opening up the inside there for the number 0 of Ripley. And now the 40 of Schaefer. As Schaefer also going to get around Tyler Noeski as Noeski goes from 3rd to 5th in the matter of a couple laps. As now it's going to be a good side-by-side racing action up front. As so far, Dave Dobbins in that number 9, he is starting to pull away from the rest of the field as he's sitting up front. Clean and clear for the number 9 of Dobbins. As Steinman sitting in second with Ripley 3rd, Schaefer 4th, Noeski 5th. As it's still so far good racing up front as the 83 of Courtney. Gonna let the 28 of Archer go by as they're battling there going into turn number 3 between Bob Sibla Jr. and Jesse Adams in the 1. As they're battling, they're going into turn number 1. Off of 3 and into turn number 1. It's a good side-by-side racing battle there for the 7th spot. As Dave Dobbins still so far leading away over the 9 of Dave Dobbins. TJ Steinman, Ripley, Schaefer, Noeski, your top 5 with Elkins, Sibla, Adams, Swaney, Prater, Archer, Macko, Courtney, Saunders, Hudson, and McNeely are all your remaining as Hudson and McNeely battling there going into turn number 3 off of 4. They're still battling deep into the pack as they're battling there for the 15th spot. As right now Ripley and Schaefer still putting on a good battle up there for the 3rd spot as Ripley still trying to hang on going into turn number 1. Schaefer going to take the advantage over the 0 of Ripley. as Ripley now falling behind the 40. As Ripley trying to still keep his eyes on that number 40 of Schaefer, as Noeski in the 15 trying to put pressure on the 0 of Ripley. As Elkins running in 6th, trying to hold back that number 82 of Sibla. As Dobbins so far leading ahead of the 37 TJ Steinman. Hudson's going to move up the track, move over flags, going to come out for the 92 of Mike Hudson. As the 9 of Dave Dobbins now going to the inside of Hudson as lap down. Corey's going to put him a lap down. 92 of Hudson now 1 lap down with TJ Steinman sitting there in 2nd with Schaefer 3rd, Ripley 4th, Noeski 5th, Elkins 6th. In 7th is Bob Sibla Jr. So far, we are clean and green. As right now, Dave Dobbins just trying to hang on to that race lead ahead of that 37. As the 64 Mako, he's going to get black flag as he's got some smoke, heavy smoke coming out from behind that number 64. As right now, they're still good as Elkins and Sibla still putting on a battle there for the 6th and 7th spot. As right now, off of turn number 4, it's going to be 20 laps in and 30 laps to go for the 9 of Dave Dobbins. As Mike Hudson almost hit the wall there off of turn number 4, was able to brake check, and the 40 was also able to brake check. It is now Schaefer starting to put pressure on the 37 of TJ Steinman for the 2nd spot. Schaefer so far seems to be the fastest car here at the Speedway besides the 9 of Dave Dobbins. Dobbins set a good lap there in practice. As Dobbins, he's now going to hit lap traffic with Courtney Saunders and McNeely as they're all moving up the track. As Schaefer still trying to put pressure on that number 37 of TJ Steinman. Schaefer right on the back bumper, Steinman for the 2nd spot. Then the 82 of Bob Sibla Jr., the 1 of Jesse Adams, green flag. 22 laps in, 28 laps to go as we're going green, as is going to be Dobbins Steinman. As Dobbins using the inside lane, he's going to start and pull away just a little bit ahead of TJ Steinman, ahead of the 40 of Ty Schaefer with the 0 of Ripley right behind as they're battling there for 5th between Rick Elkins Jr. and the 15. And the 15 of Noeski, but Elkins is going to take away with it. As the 9 of Dobbins is now going to be the race leader ahead of the 37 of Steinman, the 40 of Schaefer, 0 of Ripley, 51 of Rick Elkins Jr., and the 1 of Elkins, and the 1 of Jesse Adams. Go green, the caution coming out again for the number. So green flag is out for the 9 of Dobbins, the 37 of Steinman. As the 40 of Schaefer, he cut up the banking just a little as problems there for the 51 of Elkins. Problems on the back straightaway. As we're going to go green this time, 24 in, 26 to go. It's going to be Dobbins and Steinman. Green flag is out for the 2 of them. As it's going to be Dave Dobbins, TJ Steinman, Ty Schaefer, Lucas Ripley, Bob Sibla Jr. Green flag is out for Dobbins and Steinman off of turn number 4. And as it's going to be halfway this time, 25 in, 25 to go for Dave Dobbins, Ty Schaefer, TJ Steinman, Lucas Ripley, and Aaron Prater. As the 41 of Rodney Saunders getting a little loose up there on the outside. as he's trying to get around the 27 of Braden Swaney. So Dave Dobbins so far leading ahead over the 40 of Ty Schaefer with Lucas Ripley, TJ Steinman, and Aaron Prater there as they are all running. So far it's going to be 20 laps to go, 29, 30 in, 20 to go, 30 in, 20 to go for the 9 of Dave Dobbins. He's starting to get pressure from the 40 of Ty Schaefer. As Bob Sibla Jr. As right now, Dave Dobbins so far leading ahead over the 40 of Ty Schaefer as Steinman. Trying to get around that number 0 of Lucas Ripley with Aaron Prater and the 82 of Sibla. We're going to go green this time. Off of turn number 4, it's going to be Dave Dobbins, Ty Schaefer, front 2, looking for the green. Green flag is out for Dobbins and Schaefer. As Ripley starting to put pressure on that 40 of Ty Schaefer, getting into the back bumper of him just a little bit, trying to make a little contact to get a good run. As Ripley now running 3rd, with Steinman in 4th, and Bob Sibla Jr. rounding out your top 5 with Ty Schaefer now trying to keep on putting pressure on the 9 of Dave Dobbins. As Dobbins trying to pull away from the 40 of Ty Schaefer, but Schaefer not letting him out of his sights as the 0 of Ripley sitting there in 3rd as TJ Steinman. So Dobbins is now your race leader over the 40 of Schaefer, Ripley, Steinman, and Sibla Jr. As Prater sitting there in 6th. As Ripley getting a little loose there off of turn number 4, almost spinning, and Steinman almost making contact, but Steinman backed out of it just in time. As Steinman still trying to get around the 0 of Lucas Ripley, as Ripley put on a good challenge up front early on. Now he's trying to get around the 0 of Ripley. As right now, Schaefer trying to look inside and outside of the 9 at Dobbins, trying to see if Dobbins is gonna make a mistake. Dobbins picked up the modified feature win 2 years ago here in 2013, driving the same exact car he's driving right now. As Dave Dobbins led almost the rest of that half of that race 2 years ago, is off of 4. It's going to be 10 to go for the 9 of Dave Dobbins, the 40 of Ty Schaefer, the 0 of Lucas Ripley, 37 of TJ Steinman, and the 82 of Bob Sibla Jr., your top 5. As Steinman now looking to the outside of Ripley for the third spot. The third spot, Ripley, Steinman, side-by-side battle off of 4. Ripley seems to not have it. No, Steinman by mere inches at the line to the 0 of Ripley. They make a little contact there. Sibla now makes a little contact to the back end of the 0 of Ripley. Now Schaefer trying to put pressure on the 9 of Dobbins up front. As Ripley still leading ahead of that 37. As the 37 of Steinman now gets around the 0 of Ripley. Ripley seems to have some problems now going for that 0. As Bob Sibla Jr. in the 82 looking to that inside of the 0 of Ripley for the 4th spot. As Dobbins now still pulling a good car, 2 lengths ahead between himself and that 40 of Ty Schaefer, as TJ Steinman now pulling away from the 0 of Ripley, but probably not enough laps, not enough time to catch up to the 40 of Ty Schaefer, the 9 of Dave Dobbins, as off of 4-5 to go, 45 and 5 laps to go for the 9 of Dave Dobbins, as Ty Schaefer just 0.399 seconds back from the leader of Dobbins. So right now, Dobbins trying all he can to hold off Schaefer. Schaefer, his brakes are glowing on the right. On the left front, the brakes are glowing on that number 40 of Ty Schaefer as he's trying to close in on the 9 of Dobbins. As Dobbins so far, brakes aren't glowing so far, keeping it cool and clear. As right now, 47 and 3 laps to go as TJ Steinman still pulling away from the 0 of Ripley. As Ripley under fire from the 82 of Bob Sibla Jr. Now Sibla, contact there over in turn number 1 and 2. Contact over in turn number 1 and 2 between that number 44 of Aaron Prater and the 82 of Sibla. But I think the caution's really coming out for the 40 of Ty Schaefer, cutting a right front tire on that 40. Ty Schaefer cutting a right front tire. Between Dobbins, Steinman. As Dobbins going to look for the green flag from the chief starter at Tenney. Green flag is out for Dobbins and the 37 of TJ Steinman. And caution flag is on the speedway. Caution flag is out. Hudson, you're remaining. Going to look for the green flag. And green flag is out. As Dobbins is going to go into the early race lead over the 37 of TJ Steinman. Here comes Ripley. Ripley looking to the inside. And off of turn number 4 to the white flag. White flag, 1 left to go for the 9 of Dave Dobbins. As Lucas Ripley and TJ Steinman still battling for the 2nd spot. Off of turn number 2, Ripley gonna take the advantage just by half a car going into turn number 3. Side by side for the 2nd spot. Off of 4 to the checker flag. You're winning the 9 of Dave Dobbins. 2nd to 0 Lucas Ripley. 3rd the 37 of TJ Steinman. 4th to the 82 of Bob Sibla Jr. And 5th to the 27 of Braden Swaney. As he's unbuckling, 2 years ago, he picked up the modified feature here in 2013 in the same exact car. Purchased a new one. Yeah. Same car, but it was number 53 a couple years ago. Now it's number 9. Give a hand to your winner, the 9 of Dave Dobbins. Well, congratulations, Dave. I guess I'm your good luck charm, so congratulations, picked up the win with this car a couple of years ago. Dave Wagner normally been driving it, but you kind of sort of had a hard wreck there at Mansfield with your car. Then you decided to put this back together. You ran the open mod race at Mid-Vid. Then you went and said, maybe have a couple more races. Then you heard Barberton. So then you're like, yep, that's a game. Going for it. So, congratulations. You had a good race. Everything. You led almost every single lap. Almost. But I think it's from like lap 20 to lap 50. So you led about 30 laps.
First, I got to thank Mike and Pat and Mazzagatti for opening Barberton back up. Got to thank Jerry's Trucking, Pyramid Pipeline, R&R Motors and Carbs, Adams Automotive, girlfriend, parents, the crew, and the fans.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Give a hand to your winner, the number 9 of Dobbins. Spinning over in turn number 2 already. DJ Auto Detailing 22 of Todd Ripley. The 03. From Uniontown, Ohio, the Auto Direct Transport, Majestic Trailers, Majestic Motors 03 of Johnny Hughes. In the 3, from Norton, Ohio, sang the national anthem tonight and last night, the Milestone Sandblasting Service, Logan Machine number 3 of Dave Martin. And rounding out the field from Perry, Ohio, in the number 8, the Junction Auto Family, number 8 of Mayo Spence. Count of 3. Let's start all the late model engines up and get it rolling. 1, 2, 3. Drivers, start your engines. As the 3 of Dave Martin having some problems over there in turn number 4, but also the 47 of Slintz also hitting the wall there in the middle of 3 and 4. Seemed like he tried to save it. Next thing you know, he backed it in over there. But if I heard correctly, the 3 of Dave Martin blowing up. Harvey Jr., 38 of Mr. 5-time Gary Whipke. The 14 of Doug Mate, 25. Josh Way, 22 of Todd Ripley, 17 of Snyder. Bob Snyder Jr., 99. 75 here at Barberton Speedway. Give a wave. Give a wave. Bob Snyder Jr. 29, Jason Kramer. 03, Johnny Hughes. 66, John Sanquest Sr. The 8 of Mayo Spence. 53, Tony Hiddle. As we're going to go green, here we go. On the stand, giving the green flag, it's going to be new track owner Mike Mazzicotti. Give a hand to Mike Mazzicotti as he's going to give the green flag here. 75 laps the distance for the late models. As problems already on the start. Problems already on the start. So 75 laps the distance. Looking for the green flag is going to be Phil, Summers, Miller, Smith, and Smith, your top 5. Gonna look for the green flag off of turn number 4. And the green is out for Mike Mazzicotti. Green is out. As Summers gets a good start into the outside lane. Summers trying to clear Mike Miller. Holding off as Doug Summers now looking underneath the 09 of Thiel for the race lead as Bubba Smith still on the outside of the 53 and Mike Miller there for Thiel, so far your race leader ahead of Doug Summers, 53 and Mike Miller as Roger Smith looking to the inside of the 12 of Bubba Smith there for the 4th spot is Glenn Gold Jr. right there behind him. Is Bubba Smith trying to get a good run there on the outside, trying to get around the 32 of Glenn Gold Jr. as right now Thiel in the 09 so far leading away as the 32 Glenn Gold Jr. getting it looks like to get a little bit of a bump into the number 43 of Roger Smith as Bubba Smith, he's going to clear and go straight down to the bottom there in the middle, 1 and 2. As Thiel, so far your race leader as the 3 of Dave Martin trying to hold off that number 53 of Mike Miller. Mike Miller and Doug Summers now battling up there for the 2nd spot. As Miller now to the inside of the 3 of Summers. As here comes Bubba Smith. Bubba Smith now to the inside of the 3 of Summers. Off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Bubba Smith to the inside. Summers looks to have some sparks there when he went into turn number 3. As Bubba Smith now to the inside of Doug Summers. Still for that 3rd spot as Roger Smith and the 3 of Doug Summers battling. As Jimmy Thiel so far leading ahead in that number 09 over the 53 Mike Miller, 12 of Bubba Smith, the 3 of Doug Summers, and the 43 of Roger Smith. And so far that 09 of Jimmy Thiel is so far leading the way over the 53 of Mike Miller by almost 2 seconds as Bubba Smith trying to close in as Glenn Gold looked underneath the 43 of Roger Smith there off of turn number 2. Doug Summers stuck on the outside lane. Glenn Gold Jr. to the inside of the 3 of Doug Summers as Lipke and Harvey all behind Gold as they're all just biding their time and taking their time as the 53 of Hillard. He goes 1 lap down. As the 3 of Summers still trying to get to that inside lane the best he can to get down to the inside. As right now he had Mr. 5-Top Gary Whipke go past him. Now he's got the 112 of Harvey passing him. So right now Harvey to the inside of the 3 of Summers. Summers has the opportunity now to drop down to the inside as Gold going to the inside of the 43 of Roger Smith for the 4th spot as the 66-53 brake check and the 43 is going to get stuck high and the caution is out. Over the 53 of 15-time track champion Mike Miller. Then he got 3-time track champion at another racetrack, that 12 of Bubba Smith. Everything's wonderful here at Barberton Speedway. So as of right now, it's going to be Thiel Miller. Going to bring it in for green flag. 12 laps in. Miller going to go high as he's going to try to get the good momentum. Green flag is out for Thiel and Miller. As Miller rubbing just a little bit there with the 09 in the middle of 1 and 2. Just a little bit, not a lot. As right now, the 12 of Bubba Smith trying to put pressure there on the 53 of Mike Miller. As Glenn Gold Jr. still looking to the inside of the 43 of Roger Smith as the 17 of Snyder almost stopped on the front straightaway. It seems like he got a little backtrack, had some problems. As Whipkey now looking to the inside of the 43, got the king, Roger Smith. And so is the 112 of Don Harvey Jr. Don Harvey Jr. to the inside and passes the 43. And caution is on the speedway. Miller again with Smith and Golt, Whipkey and Smith. Harvey, Summers, Baker, Way, top 10 going green, 14 in. Good start there is Mike Miller. He's going to drop straight down to the inside going into turn number 1. Miller now to the inside going into turn number 1 as the 32 of Golt. Trying to get there as the 39 of Whipkey. Whipkey to the inside of the 32 of Glengold Jr. As Gold trying to get around the outside of the number 12 of Bubba Smith for the 3rd spot. Bubba Smith to the inside. Gold on the outside. Battle there for 3rd between Smith and Gold. As right now, Mike Miller holding a good line there in 2nd. As Gold trying to get a good run there on the outside. As Bubba Smith not getting up on the inside. Still good side-by-side battle up front. As Gold's going to clear him using the outside lane here at Barberton. The outside lane at Barberton. The Gold and the 32 has got around the 12 of Bubba Smith. As Whipkey in the 39 trying to put challenges on the 12 now of Smith. As the 32 of Glenn Gold Jr. trying to look inside and outside of the 53 of Mike Miller for the 2nd spot. As Bubba Smith still hanging good there in the 4th spot with Gary Whipkey in 5th. So far, your leader, that 09 of Jimmy Thiel, as he is leading all 19 laps this time. 19 in the books for that 09 of Jimmy Thiel. As the 32 of Glenn Gold Jr. still looking inside and outside. That 32 has a crate engine in it. Trying to look inside and outside of that 53 of Mike Miller. Mike Miller leaving the inside. Just a little open there off of turn number 4 and off of turn number 2. As right here, Smith still getting under fire from that 39 of Gary Whipkey. As Whipkey starting to get challenges from the 112 of Austin of Don Harvey Jr. As the 4 of Scott Baker running 7th, Roger Smith 8th, Josh Wade 9th, and Todd Ripley up to 10th. As right now, that number 09 is leading the way. As Glenn Gold Jr. still trying to look to the inside of the 53 of Mike Miller. Miller sliding up just a little bit, but holding a good line going in. Holding everything he can over that number 32 of Glenn Gold Jr. As Bubba Smith still holding off 2 veteran drivers here at Barberton Speedway of Whipkey and Harvey. Gold still looking inside and outside, all he possibly can to get around that number 53 of Mike Miller for the 2nd spot. As Smith in the 12, holding a good line there over the 39 of Whipkey. As right now, your leader still the 09 of Jimmy Thiel, as he is leading the way as Mike Miller 2nd, Glenn Gold Jr. 3rd, Bubba Smith 4th, Whipkey 5th. That's your top 5. That's a 66 of John Sanquest Sr. He's going to pull it to the pits. As right now, that time by was 26 laps in. 26 laps in, 49 laps to go for the late model. 75 lapper as Jimmy Thiel about ready to catch in about a couple laps. About 4 or 5 laps. He's going to catch up to lap down traffic of Snyder in the 17 and Kramer in the 29. Summers seems to be having some serious sparks coming from that number 3 deep in the pack. As right now, Thiel leading, Miller, Gold, Smith, Whipkey. Whipkey still trying to get around that number 12 of Bubba Smith. As Harvey trying to figure out which way he'd like. Got a little bobble there from the 112 of Harvey. They're off of turn number 2. As Scott Baker in the 4 starting to close in on the 112 of Harvey. As Thiel in the 09 catching up to lap down traffic. He's going to look to the outside. Thiel to the outside of the 3 of Summers, but Summers is going to make it tough. Summers going to go high. Thiel also goes high. Thiel now going to look to the inside going into turn number 1, but Summers still blocking all he can. And that's going to help close in. Close in. Mike Miller is now about a couple of car lengths between himself and that 09 and Jimmy Thiel, who is the race leader. Thiel looking to the outside of the lap-down car. The lap-down car of the 3 of Summers could become an issue. Summers running a little high there and holding that 09 of Jimmy Thiel up, but Mike Miller and Glenn Gold Jr. have closed. The 3 of Summers made contact with the 09 of Thiel. Battle up front now between Mike Miller and the 3 and the 09 of Jimmy Thiel. The 3 of Doug Summers becoming lapped out traffic there as Thiel and Mike Miller making contact. They're going into turn number 1. So next time by, we're going to go green, 32 laps in. And so we're going to be looking for the green flag. It's going to be Thiel and Gold looking for the green. Green flag is in the air for Thiel and Gold. As Thiel gets a good start going into turn number 1. Bubba Smith to the inside of the number 32 is Whipke. Whipke way up high, and caution coming out on the speedway. Caution on the speedway for the 39 of Gary Whipke as he almost stopped up in turn number 2. And the 39 of Gary Whipke will pull it pit side. As we're going to go green this time, look at Thiel and Gold. Green flag is in the air. As Thiel and Gold both getting a good start, and they're going to bump just a little bit there on turn number 1 and 2. Thiel and Gold just touch a little bit there in the middle of 1 and 2. Bubba Smith there in third as he's battling with the 112 of Don Harvey Jr. Glenn Gold Jr. to the outside. Jimmy Thiel to the inside. They're bumping down the front straightaway going into turn number 1. Getting a couple more bumps there into turn number 1 and 2. Now Gold, he's going to clear the 09 of Thorne. He's going to fall back down into second. He's going to clear the 12 of Smith as there's trouble there going into turn number 3. Ooh, the 43 of Smith. Almost, but I think the 29 of Kramer just hit. 29 of Kramer just hit the turn 4 wall. He's going to clear the 09 of Thorne. He's going to fall back down into second. He's going to clear the 12 of Smith as there's trouble there going into turn number 3. Ooh, the 43 of Smith. Almost, but I think the 29 of Kramer just hit. 29 of Kramer just hit the tough break for Jason in the 29 as he was running 11th. The lap before by .022 ahead of the 09 of Jimmy Thiel. Then it's going to be Smith, Harvey. As it's going to be green flag, and the green is out. As Harvey, he's going to duck down and take over the third spot, and a caution out. And a caution on the speedway. As we're going to look for the green, it's going to be Gold and Thiel. Green flag is in the air. And Gold spins the tires there just a little bit. Smith still on the outside. Smith going to look to the inside, but Harvey, he's going to make it 3 wide, but he butts out of it down the back straightaway. Gold not giving up down the inside. He's going to make contact with the 09 and 3 wide down the front straightaway. Ooh, 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide down the front straightaway. 3 wide down the front straightaway, and a hard crash by the 112 of Don Harvey Jr., the 09 of Jimmy Thiel, the 4 of Scott Baker involved, and the 32 of Glenn Gold Jr., all involved. Harvey, he's going to make it 3 wide, but he butts out of it down the back straightaway. Golt not giving up down the inside. He's going to make contact with the 09 and 3 wide down the front straight. Ooh, 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 wide down the front straightaway. 3 wide down the front straightaway, and a hard crash by the 112 of Don Harvey Jr., the 09 of Jimmy Thiel, the 4 of Scott Baker involved, and the 32 of Glenn Golt Jr., all involved. So again, we got 34 laps into the 75-lap race as it's go time here at Barberton. As a white Ford Mustang and the 25 of Way. Your 4 as they're going to look for the green flag off of turn number 4. Green flag is in the air as Ripley tries to close the door on the 12 of Bubba Smith, but Smith backs out of it. Here comes Ripley back to the outside. Here goes Bubba Smith to the inside, and caution. Caution out. Caution out. Caution is out on the speedway. With Whipke and Way, Smith, Miller, Higgins, Snyder Jr., and Spence. Green flag is underway. As Ripley still trying to get a good run there on the outside, but Smith battling back on the inside. Smith on the inside. And Ripley on the outside. Good run up front between Smith and Ripley. Good solid run up front for the race lead as Bubba Smith led that time by. Lap number 35 went to Smith. And Smith going up just a little bit high there. And at the line that time, Smith by just mere inches over the 22 of Ripley. And Ripley way up high off of turn number 4. As now Whipke looking to the inside of the 22 of Ripley for the second spot. Smith trying to get his line set and is as Whipke and Ripley still battling there for the second spot as Don Harvey Jr. now trying to put his nose in there also. But Ripley is going to close the door on the 39. As Smith is out front over Whipke, Ripley, Harvey Jr., and the 25 of Way. As Whipke getting a little high there off of turn number 2, lost some momentum after he was trying to catch that 12 of Smith. As Way crossing, so is Smith as the 53 of Mike Miller looks to have some front end problems there on the 53. The right side front end of the 53 of Mike Miller seems to be a little up. As right now, Bubba Smith so far leading ahead of the 39 of Gary Whipke with Todd Ripley there in 3rd. Don Harvey Jr. in 4th with Josh Way in 5th. As Whipke still trying to put pressure on that 12 of Smith up front. As Smith and Whipke, as Harvey now getting around the inside of the 22 of Ripley for the 3rd spot. Now Harvey's around Ripley for the 3rd spot, and now he's going to start putting pressure to try to close in on Whipke and Smith. As right now it's 30 laps to go, 45 in, 30 to go for Smith, Whipke, Harvey, Ripley, and Way. as Whiskey not too far behind. That time by was about .273 behind the 12 of Bubba Smith. As right now, Smith still holding a good line ahead of the 39 of Whiskey. As Harvey finally got around that 22 of Ripley just a couple laps to go. And Harvey trying to save his stuff so he can put a pressure there on the 39 of Whiskey and the 12 of Smith to the end of this race. As right now, Josh Way hanging pretty good there in 5th as Roger Smith in 6th, 7th, Mike Miller 8th, and to Johnny Hughes. And problems for the 39 of Whiskey. Problems for the 39 of Gary Whiskey. As we're going to look for the green flag, we gave him the white flag that time. 49 laps in, 26 laps to go. It's go time with Smith and Harvey up front. Good start there by Smith and Harvey. Oh, hard hit. Hard hit. Hard hit. Hard hit there for the 12 of Smith. And the hard hit there for the 112 of Harvey. As the 112 of Harvey and 12 of Smith made a little on the front straightaway. As Austin Harvey is out from his car, give a hand to Austin Harvey. That is Don Harvey, not Austin Harvey. Austin Harvey's probably thinking I'm making him famous so far. .26 laps to go. It's go time with Smith and Harvey up front. Good start there by Smith and Harvey. Oh, hard hit. Hard hit. Hard hit. And the green flag coming out for Smith and Ripley as they go both into turn number 1 and 2. Smith on the inside, Ripley on the outside. Smith and Ripley put on a good show as Snyder. Ooh, Snyder over in the 17 is going to spin it off at turn number 2. As we're going to look for the green flag. And the green flag is out for Smith and Ripley up front. As they're going to both be putting on a good show up front, as it's going to be Smith to the inside, Ripley to the outside. Smith's going to clear him going into turn number 3. Smith using that bottom lane as he's still trying to hold off that 22 of Ripley, and caution coming out over in turn number 1 and 2. Ford Mustang, license plate GD3126 to move your vehicle as it's across the street. Smith, Way, Miller, Hughes, Ripley, and Snyder, your remaining 7 out on the racetrack right now. We're going to look for the green flag. 50 in, 25 to go. Green flag is in the air. As Smith getting a good start going into turn number 1 as the 22 of Ripley seems to have some sparks coming out from him as he went into turn number 1. As Roger Smith starting to put pressure on that number 12 of Bubba Smith up front. As Bubba Smith, your leader ahead of Roger Smith, Josh Wade, Mike Miller, Todd Ripley, Johnny Hughes, and Bob Snyder Jr., your remaining 7 on the racetrack. Well, congratulations. Give a hand to your winner, the number 12 of Bubba Smith. Congratulations, Bubba, on picking up a feature win here at Barberton Speedway for the grand reopening. Well, your car seemed pretty decent yesterday. Today, you guys worked on it a little more, got some more speed out of it than during that feature. Made some close calls, but you got it right where you needed it. The best part is, this is your first time here to Barberton Speedway, and you come home with a victory. And last week, you picked up a 2015 championship.
Yeah, when a 75-lap race with 3,000 to win, there's going to be some stuff getting tore up. That's inevitable. The goal is to miss it, as you can see with a couple cars that finished. It's really not a great show for the fans. I'm glad the track decided to reverse the call, sending me to the tail. It's the first time I ever got ran into from behind and got sent to the tail. So I'm sorry the crowd's not happy, but I'm pretty happy. And thanks to Mike Mazzagatti and everybody that's got this track turned around for us. I've never been here before. I talked to my dad into coming up and trying it. I wanted to come support these guys. You just got to support your local racetracks. And to come out with a win, not the prettiest of wins, but it's a win.
Well, we talked, like we all know, Randy, he owns Mid-Vid. You run there. But you kind of sort of wanted to come support Barberton Speedway because of Mike supporting Mid-Vid, not just on the weekly nights, but also with the main event and anything else.
Yeah, you gotta, tracks need to work together. Mike's a good guy. I gotta thank Tommy for showing up today. Ritter stood in for him yesterday and got the car going pretty good. Tommy come and put the icing on the cake today and got it hooked up. I definitely wasn't the best car. I might have been the best car at the end, but I wasn't the best car in the race. There was a lot of good cars that got tore up. But keep your nose clean and you end up with the win as a win.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Give a hand to your winner, the 12 of Bubba Smith.
Hey, whoever's in turn one, fucking won.